What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Off the Bench. 10500 with the 94.7 ESPN. Right now, it is my pleasure. We already had one LSU head football coach on this morning in Ed Ogeron. We are now having the other LSU head football coach on. Of course, we're talking about Coach DUGGS, or the man behind Coach DUGGS. Big Cat, Barstool, Big Cat. Big Cat, what's going on, man? Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me. I can't believe I'm sharing some space with the legend that is Coach O. I feel very blessed to be on the same program as him.
Wait, are you there, Dan?
Yes,
Muso? Is his mic working? Did you get him?
Yeah, he was on hold. Yeah.
Oh crap! I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Man. I
fight for that every time. Are you kidding me? I can't get away from it. The Twitch stream has me going all night saying that my mic doesn't work, and then you do that to me. I'm like, I have PTSD that none of my mics ever work, and I can't ever talk to someone. That was a dirty but hilarious trick.
It was. I was watching last night, and when you rated Juju Smith-Schuster's stream, he was. They got him too. It's a great trick that chat plays. Anyway, we're talking to Big Cat though, and for those that don't know. He's been streaming NCAA 14. He created this Coach DUGGS. He's now the head coach of LSU. I got to ask you, so when the pandemic broke out, I imagine y'all are sitting down, you're like, okay, what can we do, blah, blah. Did you have any idea when you started this journey what this was going to grow into when you started?
No, none. I actually bought the game and the Xbox 360 the day that the NCAA tournament was canceled. So I bought it not because I was going to stream, but because I was going to sit at home all day and be like, hey, I want something to do. I'm going to run out of Netflix documentaries, like murder documentaries after week one. So I'm going to need something to do and take my time up at night. So I started playing on my own, not even streaming. And then Hank, my producer, who's a little younger, was like, hey, you need to get on Twitch. I didn't know what Twitch was. I still don't really know what Twitch is. I get trolled all day.
Wait, you didn't know what Twitch was at all at the beginning of this?
I knew what it was. I just didn't understand it. I didn't know how big it was. I didn't know,
you weren't watching streams.
Right, I wasn't watching streams, and I also was like, oh, esports. I feel like Darren Ravel has been telling us for the last decade that esports is coming, and get ready, we're all going to stop watching real sports. We're going to start watching people play video games all day. It's like, okay, dude, whatever. So that was my mindset, and then I get on it, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. It's a huge world. There's really a lot of cool people doing a lot of cool things, and it's also the way that I've basically boiled it down. People are watching, obviously, because the game is fun, but they're really watching to just kind of hang out with me. And It's almost like a live podcast.
Yeah.
And that's what it's become. And that's the fun part, and people playing tricks on me and trolling me. But it's been great. I never thought it would be like this.
Yeah, I was trying to explain streaming to my old man because I've been watching Twitch. I mean, I was in college, back in 2009. That's what I said. It's you go there because you like the host. It's like being a radio host or an entertainer, and the video game is kind of the vehicle that you go. But that said, Kat, this is where it gets crazy to me, man. And where I can't imagine what it's like being in your shoes is you're sitting here playing a game and you're playing in the Rose Bowl, but you have more people watching you than could actually physically be in the Rose Bowl. How nervous are you when you're playing a game and there's 150,000 people watching?
Yeah, so that specific game, the one you're referencing, the first time that we went over 100,000 was when I was the head coach of Tennessee and I played Virginia Tech in the national championship. And you could tell how nervous I was because I lost by 21, and it was the worst performance I've ever put out there. It definitely gets in my head a little bit when I see that number tick up. I've gotten used to – it's all, obviously – as you go through it the first time, it's like, oh my God, 15,000 people are watching.
Yeah.
Now 15, 20,000 is kind of normal. But once if it ever ticks above 50, and that will happen for big games, like the Alabama game when we play Alabama on Sunday night, that will probably happen. Whenever that happens, I get a little in my own head and get a little nervous because people judge and people want to see you be entertaining, and you can see the number right in front of your face.
Yeah, look, I too have lost a national championship by 21, so I know that pain. But you bounced back. You got the win in Tennessee. You got the win in Toledo. You've now gone back-to-back, and what that led you to was the dream job. It led you to the Swamp. down to Baton Rouge. I loved your reaction when LSU popped up on the coaching carousel. How hyped were you when you saw the Tigers were available?
So hyped. I've said since day one that I went to the University of Wisconsin. I will go home, so to speak, if that ever becomes available. But the clear number 2 is LSU. So when that became available, it was perfect. We've had a really good experience with Coach O the last few years. We were down there a couple of years ago, a few times with the national title game. So it's kind of the second team. If you're allowed to have a second team, LSU would definitely be my second team.
Yeah, and actually, great game in Madison last night. Down early, come back, the big 31-24 win. Now, you announced this on the stream. I want to see if you're sticking by this. Take it on air. If you three-peat, if you win the Natty again undefeated, is DUGGS hanging it up and moving on to a new game?
Yes, I am going to retire. Now, that doesn't mean DUGGS is going to retire permanently. Mm-hmm. But that means DUGGS is going to retire for at least this time. I think the DUGGS storyline, trying as a content creator, trying to figure out when to pull the plug, when to bring it back. I think it would be perfect if we could win one at LSU, pull the plug for a little bit, and then sometime randomly, like in the middle of December, he rises from the ashes like Undertaker coming out of the casket, and DUGGS is back for a swan song at Wisconsin or something.
That would be excellent. I love the roster names that you worked out, Kat. Lil John LeBlanc's great, little Louisiana flavor there. Bo is excellent. I was a little disappointed there's not an A-Bear on there, but that's okay.
I could add one. And I also, people are saying I really butchered Little John. I keep pronouncing the C in that, and they say that's a very northerner thing to do. Little John LeBlanc is what I call him, yeah.
Yeah, throw an A-Bear in there, dude. That'd be awesome. Have you and PFT debated the better play? Is it Shark Wheel or Spider 2 Y Banana?
Oh, that's a good question. Now, Shark Wheel, people get really mad at me because this is a part of Twitch I don't really understand, but, I want to win the game. And when you play a video game at home, if you find a play that works, you keep running it because it's fun to have a play that works. People get really mad when I run Shark Wheel because it works almost every time, and they say that's a quote-unquote cheese play where I'm cheating against the system. But it's like, what do you want me to do? The play works. Why wouldn't you run the play that works?
Yep.
So that's something I never understood. But I feel like I've gotten a better understanding that the Twitch commenters are always there to just try to get under my skin. And once you realize that, you can have fun with it.
Yeah, your relationship with chat has been kind of unbelievable. But it is wild, though, dude, because you've gotten, just better and better and better at the game. Do you feel like you've learned, any more football through playing this much and actually, playing it seriously?
No, I haven't learned football, but I've definitely gotten better, and I would hope I get better. That's the thing is, people get mad that I'm better, and it's I'm probably on 1,000 hours of playing this game in the last 3 months. I would hope that I have some basic competency at anything that if I do it for 1,000 hours, I'm a little bit better. If I can't do that, I don't know what I'm doing right now. So I know people are frustrated that I have gotten better, but I would hope that, again, after 1,000 hours, I'd be a little bit better.
We're talking to Dan Katz, a.k.a. Big Cat, the man behind Coach DUGGS, LSU football head coach. Got some big games coming up. You got a Wednesday morning game, then I think a big doubleheader Thursday night, right?
Yeah, Florida and Notre Dame on Thursday night, and then we're going to play Vanderbilt on Friday afternoon, and then Sunday night will be Bama. So that will be a lot of fun. And, I go back and forth. I'll do some games at my house, and then I'll do some games in the office where I get all the guys hanging out, and we have a whole coaching staff that's a lot of fun. So the Notre Dame and Florida and Alabama game will all be at the office, which will make it a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to the "Don't Wake the Baby" stuff. That's some nice dad cat there.
Yes. I moved, and now my streaming office is right below his bedroom. So it's even I moved and I have way more space, but it still is a "don't wake the baby" moment where I can't yell too loud.
So you did a really good job of bouncing back and dealing with the pain from that first national championship loss. How do you deal with the continued pain of drafting Mitch Trubisky over Pat Mahomes, given that Pat Mahomes just signed a $450 million deal?
This was about video games. Why'd you have to do that? This is really why you got me on, right? Like, you just wanted to talk to me about this?
I saw you tweeting a Mitch Trubisky hype video earlier.
Yeah. Could you imagine being a football fan and wanting to root for the same quarterback for like a decade plus? How boring. How utterly boring would that be? I would never want that. I would never wish that on my worst enemy. Like, oh, yeah, we got our quarterback set. Like, guess what? I'm only going to get to watch Patrick Mahomes for the next 15 years. That is a horrible, horrible fate that I wouldn't wish on any football fan.
I mean, dude, that's why you're the best. That is some unreal spin zone there from Barstool Big Cat. Hey, Dan, before we let you go, I got one more question. I am a huge nerd. I love like World of Warcraft, video games, comic books, all that stuff, always have, and I love Dungeons and Dragons, okay? I need to thank you because you have gotten my non-nerd friends into wanting to play D&D. We are setting up a D&D group. What has it been like for you diving into this, the world of role-playing that is Dungeons and Dragons?
It's so much fun, and that's another thing. Like Twitch, I always look down on esports, and Dungeons and Dragons is another thing. I always I don't have time for that. And because sports have gone away for the last 3 months, we've been doing it on the podcast. It is so much fun. It's so silly. And I think you do need to have a good dungeon master.
Yes, that's the key.
We have the best. Yes, we have the best in Tim Woods. But it is so much fun. I would definitely recommend it. It's something different, especially if you have like a few friends that are going to buy in on it.
Yep.
I think it would be so much fun to do with a bunch of buddies.
Yeah, that's the key. You get an experienced DM, and if everybody's buying in, not being self-conscious, it's an unbelievable time.
And here's what I found out through, and I'm not some old wise guy, but 35 years of life is, if someone is passionate about something, I immediately respect them and interested in what they're passionate about. And if you find a dungeon master who's passionate about it, I don't care if you don't like Dungeons and Dragons. If you find someone who's like, this is my passion, I love it, that enthusiasm is rare in life. And catching that is like the best feeling in the world.
Yeah. It's. I mean, I couldn't agree more. Got goosebumps. All right, Dan, thank you so much for joining us this morning, man. This was awesome. Anything to say to the Tiger fans before you go out?
Go Tigers. Go Tigers.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
Dan Katz, Barstool Big Cat. You know him. You love him. Part of My Take. Coach DUGGS. Check him out on the Part of My Take Twitch channel. It's excellent. They got a bunch of stuff going on there. But yeah, if you're craving some LSU football, Wednesday morning game, a huge Thursday night lineup, go check it out. Thanks again, man. All right. When we get back, we're going to